Hey everybody, this is Tracey Lightfoot with Worley and Associates and the Lightfoot Youngblood team. And I'm coming live to you today from Whiskey River Lodge, which is a property that Brad Youngblood owns and operates. We're going to be talking with you a little bit. I'm just getting our camera set up here, and so I'm going to be moving around for a few minutes before we get started. Well, that's extreme close-up. You guys get to see the real bloopers here. Just like last week when we forgot to stop the camera. Okay, so we are, again, coming here live from Whiskey River Lodge, correct?
Correct.
Yep. So this is a property that Brad purchased. Actually, he had built, and we'll get into that a little bit. One of the main things I want to talk to you guys about today in our live segment is what size property is the best size for your investment or to purchase. And you know, the answer to that question can be very, the answer could be very tricky, even convoluted in some sorts. So what it really comes down to is, what is your risk tolerance when you're looking at investing in real estate, the stock market, whatever it is that you're investing in? And when we're analyzing our market and assisting investors with their portfolios, we're looking at how properties have performed. So the properties that are a one-bedroom property or a 10-bedroom property, and anything in between there, we take a look at those and we really look at, hey, you know, what's the purchase price of the property? Is the property coming fully furnished, turnkey, ready to go? Does it have management fees included? Does it have bookings on the books that are going to come along with the property in the end? Let's take a look at the whole picture here. And let's take a look at the rate of return on that investment. What the property's grossing, you know, we go through the P&Ls and all of that. We're, I'm going to say, pretty blessed and very fortunate to have the clientele that we do have, because we have loyal clientele that are so excited about their investments that they provide back to us facts at the end of the year. Say, hey, take a look at what we did. You know, our property's killing it. And again, that could be anything from a one-bedroom property all the way up to, you know, 10 to 12 bedrooms. So when we're looking at, you're coming into town and you say, you know, this is the amount of money. Maybe it's not about risk tolerance per se for you. Maybe you just have $100,000. That's what you got. And you want to pay cash for a property. So we already know going out of the gate, there's very few properties that are 3-bedroom that you're going to be able to obtain for under $100,000. None of those in our market that I am aware of are furnished and turnkey and ready to go. So you're still going to have to put money in it. So we may look at, you know, do you want to pay cash for that property, or do you want to use that $100,000 towards leverage, get a little more bang for your buck with a property that's already turnkey? And so, you know, really the answer to, again, the question of what is the best property, what's the highest rate of return, you know, we look at cash-on-cash investments on what you're putting into that property, what the property is in return grossing for you, and we're looking at everything in between on your rate of return. I'm going to turn this camera a little bit more. We're just playing here today because I have you know, Brad's got a pretty shiny head. We've got stuff that's coming through. Hey, Brenda. Hi, Heather. I think I saw Kristen on there too, so I just wanted to say hey, give a shout out. So again, we are, Brad, I'm going to tell our story for those of you who do not know us. Again, I'm Tracey Lightfoot with Worley and Associates, and I started a team, oh gosh, about 2.5 years ago. And when I came on to the scene in real estate, Jeremy Worley, my broker, business partner also, because I have become part owner of Worley and Associates this last year, which was a great honor. And he brought me on as an apprentice and taught me everything he knows about real estate investing and the nightly rental market. And we just continue to hone in our skills and learn and educate and assist our clients in doing the same. And I graduated from my apprentice program, and I've been with Worley and Associates for 6 years now. And about 2.5 years ago, it was my turn to bring on an apprentice. I had a lot of investors that were coming to me word of mouth, and I needed help. I needed somebody who was enthusiastic, excited to learn the business, and also somebody who could really wrap their head around the investments, and of course all that extra stuff that comes in with this of being ethical and so on and so forth. And we actually had another realtor in the market refer Mr. Youngblood here to us, and he came in and visited with us and had decided that he wanted to get into the real estate piece of it, and we took him in, and he started. It didn't take much. He had all of the goods needed. He just needed to fill his tool belt so that he could get started, and that's what we assisted him in doing. He's absolutely exploded this year. I can tell you that he's already put together $14 million in business, and a majority of that, more than a majority of that, is nightly rental investors who have returned or have referred or repeat business, which is a big part of our business. We do advertising. We do these live videos with you to help with education, because that's something that's very near and dear to my heart is educating. But Brad came on. He saw what the investors were doing with the investments, and he was like blown away. I can't believe how much money is in the nightly rentals. But then he also saw the other side of it, not just the rate of return of the investment, but the need and to own these properties, because we do still today, we still have a lack of inventory. There still are waiting lists. I took a look at your books, Brad, for the summer, and I saw that already for 2019, most of his books they're filling up, and it's not even the end of 2018. That's right. So talk a little bit about with us, what possessed you? Because I know going into it, you had purchased a couple of 2-bedrooms first?
Started out in my first 2-bedroom, yes.
Yeah, and so you had a 2-bedroom, and then we started bringing clients in over here at Rockwood. I'll tell you, last year they're just non-existent inventory for anything that was 6, 7, 8 bedroom, especially new construction. So this development started coming in, and right out of the gate we had, there's eight properties here, and we had 8 of them sold and very quickly. And actually one of Brad's buyers had, I think for personal reasons, had to cancel their contract, and so you decided to jump in on this one.
Right.
So what possessed you to do that, in only being in the business at that time for about a year, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to do a 7-bedroom property? I mean, you want to talk about a risk and investment. It just goes to show you that how somebody can jump off the cliff, take a little bit of a risk in a larger property, and here we are a year and a half later, and this property is killing. So I'm gonna let Brad answer some of those questions, kind of tell us what.
Well, it's getting started with this. It's always especially for somebody that's not familiar with the vacation rental market. and kind of how the properties work. But starting out with which most of you will start out on a smaller property to kind of get your feet wet, to kind of see the mechanics of how they're being operated, and what kind of return that you're getting. But one thing, the luxury that I had that a lot of folks didn't is we have clients that own bigger properties, so I got the luxury of being able to kind of see how they're performing and producing, and I keep up with VRBO marketing and things like that to see kind of how their calendars are working. So those are always a great tool to know, to be able to piece the numbers together, and to kind of figure out what that cost, your expenses are going to be, and what those numbers are going to look like. And so in seeing with all these other investors and what they're doing, and not batting an eye, buying a 6 or 7 bedroom property had kind of sparked my interest to kind of dig deeper into it. And so once I dug deeper and looked at some of the investors' numbers, and it just made sense. And being originally from this area, you're looking at places, why people are coming, Lake, Silver Dollar City, shopping, things like that, which when this development came up, there was only going to be a handful of them that were going to be built with lake access and slip access, which, as most come summer, that's what people are down here for. So in my head, it was a no-brainer. And so that's what kind of drove me to the to putting an offer on this and getting started with my first 7-bedroom. It's not for everybody right out of the gate. Like I said, I had a little more comfort level with just working with investors, to know that I felt that I was in pretty good shape. But from here on, from when I started and where I'm at now, it all worked out. And I'm at to the point now that I'm comfortable now that I've sold my 2 bedrooms, and I'm going to be putting up another project here in another year or so.
What size is that one going to be?
That one, it's still kind of in the works. I'm kind of between a 5 and 6 bedroom on it, but this one's gonna be a little bit different. So I'm kind of haven't really let the cat out of the bag on it. So because I don't want a lot of folks following my lead, but the secrets. The one great thing is you see enough vacation property that you take bits and pieces out of all of them. To kind of get ideals and things like that, what keep people coming into your rental. And that's a huge part of this is, keeping your guests happy, keeping the time that they spend here enjoyable, because once they had that great time, that great, family connection, they want to do it again next year. And so repeat business is a huge deal, especially out of my unit. So I want to be able to provide them with the absolute best, experience that, they could have on vacation. And, that's the key to all this. It's keep providing a great experience, a clean environment where, folks are getting along.
Yeah, that's huge in our Branson area, because that's what we see. We see families coming together. Branson is located in such an area in the Midwest that you can, in 12 hours, can drive. You can drive to Denver, Colorado. You're down deep south, Texas, Florida. You can go so many places within 12 hours. And so, some of the questions I have received, especially from new investors, is about market saturation. Also, what happens when you have a downturn in the market, in the real estate market? Well, I'm going to tell you that, when I came into real estate, we were at the very, very beginning of some market recovery. So it was still a little slow, but I came into the market with my brokerage that this is what Jeremy did. He was assisting building, sales manager out at a location of nightly rental community. And we had investors buying $300,000-$400,000 properties, larger properties, in the worst real estate and economy in the history. And that's because you can drive 12 hours, if somebody can drive 10 to 12 hours and meet family and stay together, bring their resources together and save money, they're still vacationing. We have investors who, like I said, they were purchasing in 2008, 9, 10, very large properties, and they're still doing it because we do still have waiting lists. I know this last July, we were sitting in the office and you got a phone call from a lady that said, hey, I'm looking for a 7-bedroom property. I have family coming in and we need a place to stay. And, it's the middle of July, and she was just looking for anything at that point. And she had called Brad, and of course, his unit was booked. But he was able to, hand out a couple of names and phone numbers to say you might give them a try. But there are, at that point, he's taking a name and phone number saying, hey, if a cancellation comes up, I'll give you a call just in case you're still looking. And so that's the type of supply and demand that we have, and it's still in our market today. Even though we have developments that are currently going up that have 7, 8, 10, 12-bedroom properties in it, there's still that demand. 5-bedroom properties, 4 and 5-bedroom properties seem to be the thing, right now. I'm just gonna say that. We have, clients that are doing a little bit of both. I have, one client who's bought both. They've done a 4-bedroom and they're doing a larger property because that 4 or 5 bedrooms kind of that even kilt in the middle. I'm going to say if you're getting started and you're really not looking to, you just want to really feel, safe, warm and fuzzy and not have, too many, you don't want to have the major feeling of freak out because you will. And that's just investing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're buying your very first home to live in, a second home, 5 or 6 homes down the road for you. You're always going to have that willy-nilly feeling in your stomach of buying a property, especially if you're handing over $700,000 or so for a large investment property. But like I said, I looked at Brad's books, and he has bookings, this fall. I mean, November, December. I looked at his books for next year, June, July, August. They already had some in there. You're already starting to fill in for the spring. I think you even had some February bookings in there, which I'm telling you folks, so January and February is our off season. That's a great time to, get paint, do just that simple maintenance of little things that happen throughout, a suitcase may ding up a little bit of wall paint. So you want to freshen up and get ready for the next season and keep your property tip-top. So January and February are great times to do that because that's what we consider our down season. However, Branson is turning into more of a year-round market. I can tell you from statistical research that we have actually performed and looking at different markets all across the nation, Colorado, Texas, California, Florida, Branson actually has more nights rented in most areas, and we're also, Branson, you're able to, being in the Midwest, you're able to purchase a property for less than you can, as we all know, in California, in most places still in Florida, and definitely Colorado. Real estate has just skyrocketed, especially for these investment properties that legally have no red tape that you can do vacation rental out of. And I lost my train of thought for some reason. I saw that bird fly across the back window. Good night. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess. No, Branson, Missouri. I'm just saying, basically, this is where people are coming to vacation. Families are coming here, and the supply and demand is still still here. We're not seeing an oversaturation in the market, even with the new properties.
Absolutely, and you know the great thing about Branson, Missouri is it's one of the cheapest places on the planet to come vacation.
Yeah.
So, you know, everybody's concerned about downturn. What happens with the downturn? Well, you know, the good thing about Branson is, like I said, you can find a show ticket on every corner, a Silver Dollar City ticket, discounted, you know, things like that where, you know, people versus plane trips, they can, you know, drive here, pull the resources in and come vacation. You know, this is, you know, if things go wrong, unfortunately, you know, I hate to say it, but Branson's a great place for, you know, the family that has a budget to come vacation. So, you know, when I invest in Branson, Missouri, you know, I feel secure in knowing that. And so that's always a great thing. If you look at Colorado, Florida, places like that where, you know, you've got to fly there, the rental rate, things like that, to ski or this, it's, you know, it's pretty costly. So, you know, for people to continue vacation, they just have to figure out how to vacation smarter.
Yeah, absolutely. And the cost, obviously, the cost of living in real estate reflects, you know, with us being in the Midwest, you can still buy real estate at an affordable price. You know, if you're looking at, I mean, we have clients right now that are building property that are, you know, dropping $700,000, $800,000, $900,000, you know, but they're getting $1,500, $2,000 a night for some of these properties. So, you know, if you guys do the math there, it makes sense. So, Brad, would you share, if you wouldn't mind, you know, here with your property this year, do you know how many nights you're going to end with, or what you're going to end gross wise for the 7-bedroom?
I don't have the total nights brought in yet, but I know, you know, as of a month and a half ago, you know, I was kind of on track to do right around 110,000 out of that, which, you know, would make it pretty close to $15,000 a bedroom, which, you know, I mean, if in our market, that's phenomenal, you know, and not to say that everybody's going to do those numbers, you know, it's basically how you know, present your property and make sure it comes back to, again, you know, how the property's put together and making sure that experience is great, you know, and the way that, you know, you're responsive to your guests, and whether that's you or the management team that you put together, you know, they just want to make sure that they're getting what they're paying for out of the property. And if they have that great experience, you know, those numbers will only get better. But, you know, it's like I said, it's a double-edged sword. You know, if you're not paying attention to your folks and you've let your property kind of run downhill, the numbers are not going to be the same. You know, it's just basically what you put into it is what you'll get back.
Yeah, well, just like a monthly rental. You know, we've all heard of slumlords.
Absolutely.
And so if you're going to purchase a property and you're not going to keep it maintained, you're not going to get those higher rents. And that's going to go for your nightly rental as well. You know, it's very important to put together that power team that we talk about. And if that includes the property manager, you know, for somebody who wants to be passive, they don't want to manage the property. You know, he's, you know, full-time real estate. He's my business partner, and he busts his butt. You know, he's out there 7 days a week, and he also has a family that he's doing things with, and coaching, you know, football and soccer and Little League, and I mean, he's a busy guy. So the one thing that he doesn't want to also do is manage his property. So he has a property manager that takes care of it. She has the power team put together. And the most important person in your power team is going to be the housekeeper.
Absolutely.
You know, not just your property manager is very important. You know, it's very important to interview, make sure they know what they're doing, and what their history has been with other properties. That's going to be, you know, a big deal. His property manager, she has over 10 years experience, and she is somebody who has been very successful in her own rentals, and in return has repeat clientele that is going to keep properties booked, which is going to reflect on his numbers and allow him to continue to have these, you know, phenomenal years. But to have, you know, people in your unit in January and February is just,
it's phenomenal, because
awesome.
it's generally after, that first weekend of January when Silver Dollar City and things like that closed down. They're pretty much dead months, but, to have people still coming, that gives hope for Branson to know that, hey, we're at the point that we're not going to have a season at some point, and, things will just keep kind of pushing along as, with these new attractions and indoor amenities start taking place, that we won't have a season, which is a great thing, especially for an investor, because that's money all year round.
Yeah, we already have the most nights in regards to availability for seasons in almost any location in the nation. That is actually proven data, and we are able to. We've captured snowbirds, and these are some things that I've talked with some of my clients about that own these larger properties. Some of them have come back around, and they have the larger properties, but they're filling out their portfolio a little bit. Maybe they're adding a 3 or a 4 bedroom. 3 bedrooms are a great little sweet spot. Same with the 4 bedrooms.
Absolutely.
They're a sweet spot because the snowbirds that are coming back down, those 3 bedroom properties, or even if you have a 1 or 2Z, for your condominiums or a cabin or whatever it may be, snowbirds from the northern states are coming to Branson and staying because we have been warmer, and we're definitely warmer than they are. And they're coming through and they're renting the properties, January, February, and part of March, and then headed back home, which is perfect for investors who want to have properties renting out pretty much all year round. Just have to remember to keep that maintenance scheduled, because you want to be classy. You want your property to have wow factor, and you want your property to be clean. Those reviews are huge. I know when I go on, I'm getting ready next weekend to go stay in a property on 12 acres in Arkansas. And one of the things that I looked for was I looked at the reviews to see, was there anything about it being dirty, or how were the beds? That was a big thing, was making sure you spent that extra money on those beds. I wouldn't worry so much about going out and buying this elaborate sofa or something like that. If you've got the money and you're kind of working on a budget, spend most of your money on those mattresses.
Absolutely. A good night's sleep is essential for all parties.
That's right. I think we might have some questions, so I'm going to get up and look here. Let's see. Oh, Kristen, you're great. Guess I'll have to excuse the extreme close-up. Oh, gosh. Hey, Jesse. Hey, Austin. How are you doing? Brenda, how are you doing? Brenda says hi, Brad.
Hi, Brenda.
Okay, I just want to make sure we weren't missing any questions here, because that's why we're here. We're here to assist you guys in your business and, help you either get started, help you improve your portfolio, really, assist you in taking a look at the whole thing. So even if you are a seasoned real estate investor, you haven't invested in Branson, Missouri, or maybe you already have, and you're looking for a dynamic power team, you definitely want to give us a call, interview us, and allow us to assist you with your portfolio, taking a look at what you already have, maybe looking at some of the things that you want to add, looking at your goals of what it is, why you are investing in our market. And we'd be more than happy to sit down and do some one-on-one consultations with you. That's something that we do for our clientele. If you're a client of ours, we're continually educating, and we're continually keeping our clients up to date. If it's in a change in municipality or rules, regulations, state level, county level, whatever it is, we've got your back. We're here to assist you through all the processes and all the things that come along. We have clients that call us all the time and just shoot ideas off of us, like, hey, I was thinking about putting a bunk bed in with the king size bed in this room. What do you think about that? We have things like that happen. And we can talk actually from either personal experience, or we can talk with client experience that, because clients, they call us just to let us know how things are going all the time, which is awesome. We love having that relationship with our partners, because that's truly what we are, as partners with our clients.
And we like to, check up to them from time to time to see how they're doing as well.
Yeah.
And if there's something, they're having hang-ups with that, maybe we can kind of give them tips or, tricks or things like that to help improve them, because, at the end of the day, we want to see all of our investors successful, because if they're successful, we're successful. And, at the end of the day, it's about the clients, and, because it's, we're all in it together. And, when you buy another property, you'll buy one right after it, and if you're making money, you'll keep making money. And that's a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So with all that being said, Brad, when you first started in the business, because you're now in it,
Oh, I'm head deep in it now.
You're real deep in it. It has, you have the real estate portion of the market of being a real estate investor, in addition to running, our business together as, realtors. What would you have done differently going into, is there anything that you would have done differently going in head first as a new investor into your property? Maybe something that you ran across that was a little bit of a hiccup for you, that you would have said, you know what, my new investors coming in, I'm going to let them know about this, because I don't want them to experience the same thing. I don't want them to reinvent the wheel. Is there anything that you can think of?
Well, mainly it's looking into your CC&Rs and things like that, and make sure you're not getting into a property that's going to give you a hiccup, because that's going to be a huge thing. Whether it is, if you're going to be able to allow those guests to use the amenities, or even allow them to use your property. It's there wasn't really too much of a hiccup, other than I just wish I would have got more property when I did. But, unfortunately I didn't have an unlimited resources.
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20.
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
But getting started, I don't think I would want to, start in on a project. I would, recommend, especially if you've got a busy schedule, kids, things like that, is getting into a turnkey property and, basically going that route just to get a good experience, and making sure that you've got all the boxes checked, whether it is utensils, things like that, because people are going to let you know. So if there's something that's missing in there, they're going to tell you. And so it's just having, the place put together where you feel that they are going to get everything they need from their home away from home. And so, there's not, I don't think I had too many challenges, other than you just want to make sure, and figure out which direction you're going to go with your marketing, things like that, to, have that stuff in place. Because if depends on what site you use, things like that, they could back you up 2 or 3 weeks before, they get your property, which could cost you money, a couple of weeks. So, when you buy a property, already have that plan put to place. So have that stuff on board, ready to go. And so once you're done, they're already there taking pictures, and have your site put up and ready to make money.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's there are some sites out there that do take a little bit of time for them, because you are another client on their list for that website, and they have basically it's take a number on some of those.
Absolutely.
And I know that this was a new build for Brad. Every detail that's in here. He has live edge. He has real logs. I think you saw that grizzly bear in the basement.
It's still at the house. He's still in the works.
Oh
but
my
yes.
gosh, he has this huge bear. I don't even know how big it is, but anyway, he's got some really cool detail in this property. So he was hands-on from the ground up, from the foundation being poured to the roof being put on, picking out furniture and utensils and all of that good stuff. So going through those experiences, those are one things that you guys should know, is that we have lists to help you. Those are benefits and value that we add back to our clients when purchasing property. If it's a new build, if it's a remodel, if it's property you've purchased. We have a lot of condos right now that are remodeled. They're not furnished, but we can help you with that. We can let you know, what are the things that you should have in your nightly rental properties.
Absolutely. I mean, down to even where to help you find furnishings, and how to keep you from spending a ton of cash up front, because that's a huge deal too, because not only are you putting in the money for the build, now you've got to furnish this big unit. Yeah. And so, there's little tips and tricks and things like that we can help to kind of help you from, liquidating all your cash up front, because at the end of the day, you want your property to be able to pay for all that stuff and try to keep that money into your account. So it's just, just little tricks like that will help kind of curb your risk a little bit and put your mind a little bit at ease on them.
Yeah, exactly. Brenda, I've got to give a shout out to Christina Ferrante.
Hi, Christina.
She just hopped on. She's our red from Springfield, Missouri. But Brenda actually has a good point on here. And excuse me again, guys. We've got a wonky system today. You guys get to see a lot of extreme close-ups of me. She says we're both awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Brenda. She says that she knows the return is pretty high in investments in the Branson area, which makes it a great place to invest. Do you know what the average rate of return is investment for the area? So that's an awesome question, Brenda. In regards to an average rate of return for our area, I don't have what an average is. I don't know if there's anybody who actually has tracked what an average rate of return collaboratively for all the properties. I can say that, obviously it depends on the property that you invest in. And also
and the money you put into it.
The money you put into it, how much cash invested is on your rate of return. So, you may have, your larger property that you have a larger down payment on, and you're using leverage. So meaning you are going to obtain a loan and use the cash in hand that you have. If you have $100,000 and you're wanting to buy, let's say you're in the market for the larger property, we're purchasing a 6-bedroom property and you're taking that $100,000 and using it as your down payment and using that loan as leverage. Still very cheap to very, very inexpensive with the mortgage rates to borrow your money at this time.
Yeah.
We have a lot of folks doing that. We actually have a lot of investors who can pay cash for absolutely everything that they're purchasing, but they choose to use lending as leverage, and they take the money, they spread the love, and they have a pretty nice portfolio. I can say, Brenda, you guys have been great partners with us as well, and you guys have an awesome portfolio. Your rates of return are off the charts as well. And it also makes a difference, guys, if you have property management or if you're managing the property yourself, however you choose to operate your business is going to make a difference on your rate of return. I will say property manager for Brad, if he was managing his own property, I know you've said many times, you're not sure that you would have this much of rate of return on your end if you were managing it yourself, because
Absolutely.
He is so spread thin in his just day-to-day life with family and his own business and also having the nightly rentals. So he chose to have a property manager. For him, paying his property manager increases his volume and his rate of return, even though it's an expense going out at the end of the day. It in return, possibly has added probably $3,000 or $4,000 per night per room. Well,
absolutely. And a lot of people look at that percentage, that what the property manager gets. But you guys got to consider, some of these property managers are the best at what they do, And when they do a great job, they'll make their percentage back on the gross income. So you may make 20% less than what they're doing, and and then you're dealing with it yourself. But not to say that you can't do a great job, because we have a lot of clientele that do manage their own property, but that's their only thing they do. They love what they do, but for the working family that don't have time, that that just want some passive income, look at don't discount a property manager, because some of the ones that we work with are great, and they will make their money back just in the work that they do for your property.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. We have a lot of clients that looked at managing their own property, and they may have started out that way, managing their own property, and then they came back and they said, for us in our specific situation, I think we just want property management. And then we have others that go out of the gate, they manage their own property, and they love what they're doing and they kill it. They're doing awesome. So it just really, in a whole, to answer the question about rate of return, it really depends on how you manage the property, what your expenses are. But we do see a lot of our clients, in regards to rate of return across the board, doing anywhere from 20 to 30% rate of return on the cash invested. So that's not uncommon. That's not uncommon. We have clients who are doing, less than that, but again, it really depends on your situation, how much you're using the property. Are you going to use the property during peak season? Well, that's awesome. Use your property how you wish to do it, but just know that that's going to cut into your rate of return in the end, because that peak season, that's what's running your business for you. And if you're going to use your property, a lot of people choose to use it in maybe January, or the changeovers in season. You have changeovers in season that some of our clients will use their property maybe mid-August, because you can still get some great late days in August.
Absolutely, you
and
can.
Kids are going back to school, so you may have a couple of days there on the books that it's open. So take it. Enjoy your property, enjoy your investment. But we're going to let you go, because we could talk all day about this. It's our passion.
Absolutely.
We absolutely love this business. I love investors. I love educating and sitting with you guys side by side and really getting to watch the growth. I mean, it's just amazing. This guy over here, he's a success story, and he's awesome to watch grow and watch what you've done with your investments.
Well, and we all know, a lot of us out there don't have retirements, and so for me, to start putting it, because Lord knows we're not getting any younger, so, it's, this is my retirement, and so at the end of the day, I want 5 of these, that's kind of my goal, to have 5 bigger properties. So as I get, where I think I'm ready to hang it up, I want to be able to have passive income and be able to live comfortably off that passive income, and enjoy it, because that's what it's about. We're not doing it because we just absolutely just want to own a property and just love doing it. It's because we're here to make money, we're here to have a retirement, and that's kind of that's where we're at on it at the end of the day.
Yeah. My goal is a property a year for the next 10 years. And I may try to get on the fast track and add a couple more properties in there quicker. Just because, I don't know. I'll probably be 90 years old still doing these videos. I will. It's just one of those things that I love so much. But if you guys are wanting to get some more information about vacation rentals, specifically investing in the Branson, Missouri, Tri-Lakes area market, we're your crew. We're Brad Youngblood, Tracey Lightfoot. We also have Heather Henderson, which is a dynamic part of our team as well. She joined our team in May, and I'm going to tell you what, that girl, she's ceased to amaze me.
Absolutely. She's been absolutely she's fit right in with the crew.
Yeah, and she's working with investors as well. We actually brought her on as a residential specialist, and she ran right out of the gate, you know, that this is just our niche. You know, we work with investors and we love you guys. And we want to be a part of your power team and assist you in growing that portfolio and analyzing your investments. So you can always contact us at our website at bransonhomefinder.com. Again, that's www.bransonhomefinder.com. You can go to watch these videos. You're going to find us on Facebook, YouTube. We'll also be on our website. I'll upload these each week to our website under the Nightly Rental tab. You can push contact us and shoot us a message if you would like. My phone number is 417-251-1946. You can text me at any time, call me. I even do FaceTiming. We do that actually a lot with our out-of-state clients on properties that they want to see out of the area. Brad, give them your digits.
My number is, if you want to reach me, my number is 417-335-0993. And like Tracey said, you know, for folks that are out-of-state clients, you know, we will go in and do FaceTime videos, things like that, you know, because with our inventory the way it is, stuff goes fast. So that's a service that we do provide, that is FaceTime videos to allow you to see the property before you purchase the property. So, you know, anytime that, you know, you have questions or want to see a property, we can definitely provide that.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to let you guys know about a property we do have on the market currently, and it's not going to be around long at all. It's booked so much we can't even get anybody in it to show it to them. I think it's been shown. We've had tons of people want to see the property, but just getting in is tough, especially if it's a weekend. And that property is located at 10 Greenview in Kimberling City. It's a legal vacation rental property. And that property is grossing consistently anywhere from $68,000 to $70,000 a year, and it's a 4-bedroom. That's phenomenal, guys. Absolutely phenomenal. So you're going to want to take a look at that. If you're wanting to get into nightly rental investing, you don't necessarily want to be in a condo. You want some lake views. This property has Table Rock Lake views, and you're only 15 minutes from Silver Dollar City. In traffic, like if it's like crazy busy, maybe 20 minutes, but we have clients who are really doing well down in those areas, and their numbers don't lie. So that property is going to run you about $350. Furnishings are extra, but give us a shout and we can get you some more information on that property and also set up time for you to see it. Again, bransonhomefinder.com, or just give us a shout out. You can find us if you type in anywhere. If you're watching this somewhere on the internet, you can type in Lightfoot Youngblood Team, Branson, Missouri, and you're going to find a whole lot of different ways to get in touch with us. It's been real, guys. Thanks for taking the time with me today, Brad.
Well,
I know
thanks for having me.
We share an office. I see him a lot, but he's a busy guy. So being able to, you know, get him aside for a little bit is good. And again, just let us know if you have any questions, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Thanks, guys.
for joining us.